imagine the sheer, unadulterated audacity of Leslie Thomas standing on Ted Richardson's front porch, the remnants of a devastating tornado serving as the perfect, tragic backdrop for her latest theatrical performance. We all know that Leslie's massive house was completely leveled by the recent storm, a twist of fate that Vernon and Anita Dupree aptly called Mother Nature's fairness. But does anyone actually believe that a woman with Leslie's immense wealth and endless resources is truly left out in the cold? Of course not. Yet, the scene playing out in our minds and potentially on our screens is one of pure, calculated manipulation. Ted opens his front door, and there stands Leslie, looking as though the weight of the entire world has crashed down upon her designer-clad shoulders. It is a sight that would make anyone gasp, but for longtime viewers, it is a glaring red flag waving violently in the wind. Leslie will undoubtedly try to wrap herself around Ted, using every ounce of her tragic situation to find a reason to be close to him. She will likely whine, pout, and dramatically proclaim that she has absolutely nowhere to go. Can you picture it? The trembling lip, the tear-filled eyes, the desperate plea for sanctuary in the arms of her former lover. It is a scenario that feels almost too terrifying to be real, a nightmare vision of Leslie worming her way back into Ted's sanctuary. If this scene truly plays out, it will be a masterclass in soap opera villainy, but it also sets the stage for a spectacular reality check. Thankfully, Ted Richardson is no longer the gullible, easily manipulated man he once was. The days of him falling blindly into Leslie's intricately woven traps are long gone. When Leslie attempts to play the homeless and destitute card, Ted is going to hit her with a massive dose of reality. He is not going to buy the damsel in distress act for a single second. Instead, he will swiftly remind her of the luxurious apartment located right near his own house, the very same apartment that their daughter Eva negotiated and traded for her. How could Leslie conveniently forget about that? But Ted will not stop there. He will ruthlessly dismantle her narrative, pointing out that even if she did not have that specific apartment, she is practically swimming in money. She has the financial backing to secure a penthouse suite at the finest luxury hotel in the DMV, or to buy a new mansion outright. She certainly has the means to find a place far better and far more appropriate than Ted's guest room. The absolute humiliation of having her grand, seductive scheme exposed and shut down by pure logic will be a bitter pill for Leslie to swallow. Oh, the pout that will form on Leslie's face. She will undoubtedly throw a childish fit, acting petulant and wounded because Ted not only found her completely unpitiful, but also expertly unmasked her true intentions. Leslie knows deep down that she is entirely unwelcome in Ted's home. The history between them in that specific house is far too toxic, and Ted has absolutely no intention of letting her poison his current peace. Let us take a walk down memory lane and recall one of Leslie's most notoriously petty and diabolical stunts, the infamous panty incident. Who could ever forget the sheer chaos she caused when she deliberately hid her lingerie deep within the cushions of Ted's sofa, a calculated move designed solely to torment Shanice Johnson. It was a vile territorial game meant to mark her territory and drive a wedge between Ted and the woman he actually loves. That singular act of sabotage is burned into Ted's memory. He knows exactly what Leslie is capable of when she is allowed past his threshold. Because of that dark history, Ted is building an impenetrable fortress around his relationship with Shanice. He is incredibly happy right now. Shanice has been his rock, his guiding light through the darkest days of the tornado aftermath and the terrifying medical crises involving both Kat and Eva. Shanice even extended a gracious olive branch to Leslie recently, proving she is the bigger person. Ted is fiercely protective of this healthy, loving dynamic. There is absolutely no way, in heaven or hell, that he will allow Leslie to step foot in his house and launch another chaotic prank or seduction attempt. The door is firmly closed on Leslie's romantic aspirations, and Ted is holding the key. Instead of entertaining her romantic delusions, Ted is going to pivot the conversation to the one thing that should actually matter to Leslie right now, their daughter Eva. Ted will sternly remind Leslie that this is absolutely not the time for her to be flirting, scheming, or playing territorial games. Eva just underwent a massive, life-threatening liver transplant surgery. Her body was sliced open, and Kat literally sacrificed a piece of her own liver to save her half-sister's life. The stakes have never been higher, and Eva is in a fragile, vulnerable state of recovery. How disgusted would Ava be if she knew her mother was using this traumatic time to try and seduce her father? Eva has already expressed deep embarrassment over Leslie's over-the-top antics in the past, like when Leslie clashed with Darlene Hawthorne at Jacob's commendation. Eva wants peace, stability, and healing. She does not want to be the pawn in her mother's twisted romantic games. Ted will make it abundantly clear that Leslie needs to step up, be a real mother, and focus 100% of her energy on ensuring Eva's smooth recovery. The guilt trip Ted lays on her will be monumental, and it might just be the wake-up call Leslie desperately needs. However, beneath the surface of this romantic rejection, there is a very real, pressing issue that Leslie actually does need Ted's help with, and this is where the storyline takes a brilliant turn. The issue at hand is the management of the free clinic. As we all know, Leslie is the primary benefactor of the clinic, a project that was deeply important to the late Derek Baldwin. When Derek tragically lost his life in the plasma ring crossfire, a massive void was left in the clinic's operations. In the wake of Derek's death, Eva heroically stepped up to take over the administrative and management duties at the clinic. It was a beautiful way to honor Derek's legacy and give back to the community. But now, reality has come crashing down. Eva has just survived a harrowing liver transplant. Her body has been through a traumatic ordeal, and she is going to require weeks, if not months, of intense rest, rehabilitation, and recovery. She simply cannot handle the grueling demands of managing a busy medical clinic right now. The clinic is on the verge of an administrative collapse without a dedicated manager at the helm. This is where Ted's pragmatic, problem-solving nature will shine. While he will firmly reject Leslie as a romantic partner or a house guest, he will absolutely agree to help her solve this professional crisis. Ted knows the community needs that clinic, and he knows Eva needs to rest without the heavy burden of work hanging over her head. So, who will step into this crucial role? The answer is staring them right in the face, and it is a twist that will leave fans buzzing with excitement. I strongly believe Ted is going to suggest Grayson Perez for the job. Think about it. The pieces fit together perfectly. Grayson is currently drowning in a sea of despair. His life has been completely derailed by the fallout from the illegal plasma ring. Because of the ongoing police investigation, the medical lab where Grayson worked has been shut down, leaving him entirely without an income. He is suffocating under a mountain of debt, desperately trying to fend off aggressive debt collectors while simultaneously trying to afford the exorbitant costs of his mother's nursing home care. The man is at his absolute breaking point. Furthermore, let us not forget a crucial detail from just a few weeks ago. On May 27th, Leslie was at the hospital and actually overheard Grayson on a panicked phone call with a debt collector. In a rare moment of empathy, Leslie approached him, relating to his struggle because she also once had a sick mother. She cryptically mentioned that she might have a solution for his unemployment and hinted at speaking with Eva about hiring him at the clinic. Ted bringing up Grayson's name now will be the ultimate catalyst to set this plan into motion. Grayson is a trained medical professional. He knows the ins and outs of lab work, patient care, and medical administration. He is overqualified, desperate for redemption, and in dire need of a steady paycheck. If Ted formally proposes Grayson as the interim manager to take the load off Eva, Leslie will have no choice but to agree. It is a brilliant, strategic move that solves multiple problems at once. But what will this mean for Grayson? Stepping into Derek Baldwin's former role at the clinic will be incredibly heavy for him, especially given his complicated history and the massive guilt he carries over Derek's death. Will Ashley Morgan see this as a sign of Grayson's true redemption, or will she view it as him trying to erase Derek's legacy? And how will Grayson handle working under the unpredictable, demanding thumb of Leslie Thomas? Leslie is not known for being a benevolent boss. She is a puppet master who loves to pull strings. Will she use Grayson's desperation to force him into doing her dirty work, or will Grayson finally find a safe haven to rebuild his shattered life? The dynamics are shifting rapidly in Fairmont Crest. Ted has firmly drawn his boundaries, protecting his heart and his home from Leslie's toxic influence. He is prioritizing his relationship with Shanice and the health of his daughters over past mistakes. Leslie, meanwhile, is being forced to confront the reality that her money and her tears can no longer buy her the one man she obsessively desires. And caught in the middle of this shifting power struggle is Grayson Perez, a man seeking a second chance in a town that rarely forgives. As we look ahead to the next few episodes, the tension is palpable. Will Leslie gracefully accept defeat and focus on the clinic, or will she view Ted's rejection as a declaration of war? Will Grayson thrive in his new role, or will the ghost of the clinic's past drag him back into the darkness? Every secret, every hidden motive, and every unresolved conflict is bubbling dangerously close to the surface, ready to explode and change the lives of these characters forever. You will not want to miss a single second of the drama, because in Fairmont Crest, the truth is always stranger and far more dangerous than fiction. Stay tuned, because the next chapter is going to be absolutely explosive.